des coins, mon Oliteyon. Another one. This is another one. My Italy, what you do now? 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 You can't yes, wow. When you want yes, why? My Italy, go na yes, wow. My Italy, never yes, why? My Italy, when you bachelor, when you bachelor, oh, bachelor, never yes, why bachelor, oh, bachelor, when you bachelor, oh, bachelor, oh, yes, why bachelor, never yes, why bachelor, don't know yes, why bachelor, when you bachelor, now bachelor, oh, bachelor, why you bachelor, we can't yes.
Where is that buzzer?
No, I think so.
Oh, like people. Yeah, I want like brand music. Like we got beautiful music out there now. Our people are doing excellent when it comes to that. Yeah, so I'm sharing it. I'm sharing this. If you care on here, share the video for us. We con yes wow. When you want yes wow. My telio na yes wow. My telio devle yes wow. My telio Lord, I give you praise. I worship you. I share you with all the people who really love this show. Passing it to them because it can be funny on it. When I had nowhere to turn, you bless my life. When I had nowhere to go to, you give me strength. I worship you. Oh, we are way. We can yes wow. Oh, my jelly. When you want yes wow. Yeah, my jelly. Yes wow. My jelly. Yes wow. My jelly. We can yes wow. My jelly. When you want yes wow. Yeah, my jelly. Yes wow. No kuna will, whoop on your tail, no kuna deal, sit on your tail, no kuna will, whoop on your tail, no kuna deal. Never you a liar, you are a spacer, never you a failure. You're a liar. I will make it today. I will make it tomorrow. Every battle I face, you will stand by me. We can yes wow. Oh, my telio. When you want yes wow. Hey, yeah, my telio. Yes wow. My telio. Yes wow. My telio. We can yes wow. My telio. When you want yes wow. My telio. Yes wow. My telio. Yes wow. My telio. Oh, Father God, God of all heavens. Yes. When I was struggling, I call on your name. When the enemy left me to die, I call on your name. When situation rose up against me, I call on your name. You show yourself approved. I bless your name. You did what no man can do. I bless your name. For a great testimony, I bless your name. For a change of story, I bless your name. Okay. Thank you, guys. This is Split Talk, the 9th generation.
My name is Grace Goa. I am the president of Liberian Women Advocacy Network International, the one and only nice organization I have been a part of. And I'm also the founder of Legacy Holding Foundation. Both organizations are registered in Liberia and also registered here in the great United States of America. Legacy Holding Foundation also have a business running also in Sierra Leone. So I would like to welcome you to Split Talk, the Nine Generation. We'll be discussing the power of information, but we're discussing it when it comes to etiquette. So now we allow Vera to introduce herself.
Good evening. My name is Vera Ade, the Vice President for Liberian Women Advocacy Network International. Glad to be on again this evening. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for your viewership. We appreciate you. And as Grace said, we're here to expand on the power of information, except that we're trying to go in a little bit of different direction today. So thank you for tuning in and listening to us tonight.
Yeah. So if you on, you do us a favor by sharing the video, to a different group, some group that you attached to, just share the video. And we want to appreciate our people who always come here to watch because, watching here will give you a lot of good information. Although our platform is not that big, but, we come with the information we create to you as it is. So we're coming in with the power of information, a little bit of drifting through with etiquette because the power of information has giving information or has something to do with etiquette as well. But I just like to thank God for bringing me. I traveled this weekend. I was out of the country for a little while and I came back. Went through my own thing in my travels. It's not easy for traveling internationally now. Living in the states, especially after COVID-19, a lot of things going on. I noticed the airport, I noticed things that were wrong there, and I want to share it on the platform today because we're coming into that, and the things that we used to have before that we took for granted, those things are going away. And it's sad to just see how things are getting so bad off in the world because of the COVID-19 and also because of the president that was voted in at the time. They changed the world around. America is the greatest country on earth. And definitely if America is changing, I mean all the other countries gonna be changing. It's just the truth. Traveling a lot made me to notice that. And I was just saddened by what I saw. I was telling my daughter because she and myself went on a trip and I was seeing that because she's younger, she used to travel with me. And I was telling her that, back in the day when I used to travel with you, things were not like this. She said, yeah, some of the things she remember were very good. And now, she's seeing things that changed herself and stuff like that. So I don't know if you want to come in with that, but let me just give you a little bit of what I saw. The people at the airport, most of them are already annoyed. Most of the workers, the customer service that we used to adore America for, the customer service has gone away. The customer service has become poor. When you get to the airport, you're supposed to do, especially international travels, when you get to the airport, you're supposed to do your check-in. So you go to do your check-in, you meet up with let's say you go by Delta, you meet up with the Delta representative that's behind the counter, supposed to check your bags in. And while they're checking your bags in, they used to talk to you. Oh, how are you? Thank you for traveling with Delta and stuff like that. Oh no, it doesn't happen anymore. When you go to the airport, as soon as you get on the line is already extremely long. You frustrated. Some of the lines coming from outside. I don't care how early you are at the airport, the line coming from outside the terminal. So then you on the line. Then when you get there, they say, "Oh, go use the kiosk and check yourself in." And if you have to get off that line to go and use the kiosk to check yourself in, and remember you have to be to the airport 2 hours before your travel time. Even if you're traveling domestically, if you're traveling international, I advise you to be at the airport 4 hours before your travel time because it's going to be chaos if you are not there. So then you go to you go there and say, oh, you go to the kiosk and check yourself in. But then when you get to the kiosk, sometimes to check yourself in, when you check yourself in, the kiosk will tell you, say, our agent actually need to check you in. So the kiosk is not working, the machine not working the way it's supposed to work. Now that line you left, you gotta go start all over and get on that line. Then you get on the line, you get there, say, oh, go to the kiosk. Say, no, I went to the kiosk and they said I should come here. But yes, my boarding pass, or this is the receipt they gave me. Then they will scan that thing and now they will give you a boarding pass. To me, that you are even just done that while you were there, because they got a way of printing the boarding pass right to where they are to check you in and check your bags in. But it's not the case because they don't want to do their jobs. They are mad when they get to work. I don't know whether it's lesser pay, but I mean, if you are hired to do something, I don't care if you are being paid minimum wage. You are accepted to work in that capacity. You're supposed to do your job, and it just has become chaos at the airport, and people are missing their flights. So now I started thinking, I said, I wonder if they're doing anything for people to miss their flights the way of the airline making money. Because when you miss your flight, you got to pay for another flight. Like you have to pay for them to change your flight on a scene ticket. So you have to pay something like extra 200 or $300 for them to change your flight. So then when they change your flight, then they make more money on you. So I don't know where you think it's going on. The world has just like become a failure.
Well, I mean, it's just what it is. The world is coming to an end. I mean, prophecies in the Bible is being manifested right before our faces. We don't see it because we think it is things going on in the world, normal things that are out of line going on in the world. But if you sit and think about it and you open your spiritual eyes, you see that everything the Bible talk about in the last day is manifesting right before our eyes. Some of it look like normal things, but if you're in the things of God and in Christ, you will know that these things are not normal. And like you were explaining about going and getting in line, and then when you get up there, they tell you go to the kiosk. It kind of fall in line with what we've been talking about with the power of information. Because if you want the customers to use the kiosk first before coming up to the counter, at least there should be some sign telling them that, giving them that information so that they don't
Exactly.
waste their time in line. And then when they get up to the counter, and then you tell them to go back to the kiosk that is not working, and then they lose their space, they lose their spot in line and got to start the process all over. And that is just unfortunate, and it's not fair to the customer. And like you said, part of it too is they want more money. They're trying to make more money. I believe the financial side of it is part of why they do that. Because you
Yeah.
miss your flight, you end up paying extra. That extra money going into their revenue. You
Mhm.
know, so I believe.
It,
Mhm.
it,
Go ahead.
it, the saddening thing about it, before you continue, the saddening thing about it is that, okay, so this travel I just did, okay, we missed our flight, and it was because of the attendant, the representative. She was the cause of us missing our flight because we're right in front of her from a long line. We're just right down there. This is my itinerary. I'm supposed to check my bag in, and she's like, go to the kiosk. At that point, I'm telling you, my flight is 7. It's 6, at least 6:05 or 6:15. Right there, you know that I'm an
You're
emergency
running
right
late.
away. So,
Yeah.
the courtesy of your heart, the human behavior that's supposed
Yeah.
to allow you. Where is the etiquette that will allow you, or where is the love for your position, or liking what you're doing? What is that? What? And she said, "Oh no, you have to go to the kiosk." And when I got to the kiosk, because my flight was almost 45 minutes to that time, as soon as I check in, they said, no, I cannot check in, because before I could check in to get by on that line, because the time it means that I'm going to miss my flight. 'Cause I have to pass through security, you
Mm-hmm.
know. Yeah, I have to pass through immigration and stuff like that. So then I have to pay again to get on another flight. And it's just so sad that the world is into chaos. And all because human beings are not treating one another fairly. We are not. We don't want to understand each other. We don't want to understand that the same blood that runs through your vein is the same blood that runs through other people's vein. They have feelings. Because when I'm doing my job, that's what I think about. The job I do is service as well. I manage people's lives that they depend on certain benefit that I have to give them. Now, if I just be mean to all these people that really need that help, some of them they don't have anything, and I say, oh yeah, because this and that, and I just treat them like that. You don't think most of them will go to bed? Some people, even because the tension is so high, they get the pressure go up and they can lose their life for that. So why are we not thinking about these things? Instead, we just treating one another very evil, and they don't care about nobody. And when we miss our flight, I went back to her. I said, well, we have missed the flight. Can you put me on the next flight? And she said, oh yeah. She checked the computer. The next flight goes to Minnesota at 7 o'clock. Mind you, after the airport sent 4 o'clock in the morning. Oh. So the next flight go to Minnesota at 7 o'clock in the evening. So you expect me to fly into Minnesota in the evening, get there 11, and then wait on a standby to take the next flight to get to my next destination. So when she got you saying that, I just look at her and laugh. I just walk from in front of her because that's what she wanted. Now, if I was your family member or you knew me, will you even do that to me? What is the fairness here? And that's the sad part of the whole thing, man.
Yeah, I mean it's truly sad, and and like we touched on this kind of behavior last week when we were speaking, that a heart of men have waxed cold. People are cold towards each other. They really don't care. They are not kind anymore. They show no empathy towards the situation. It's like they have the don't care attitude. It's like, why would you know someone is about to get on a flight? They're at a counter. You see how long the line is behind them and how long they've waited to get up to the counter, and you tell them go to a kiosk. And she knew very well that kiosk when I'm working, because I'm sure you are not the first person to complain about that. I'm sure
Exactly.
other people, someone else may have experienced that and told her. So it's just the evil in people. The world has changed so much that people, we don't see each other as we saw each other back before everything started to fall apart. So, these are the days we're living in, Montier. You have to experience, and you just say, what, like you rightfully did. You just walk from in front of her, and because what else can you do? And some of these people, they are truly possessed. Sometimes these people that are standing before you, they're in human form on the outside, but on the inside, they are not really humans. They don't care. Some of them are people sent to attack you. Some of them are demons sent to set trap for you. You never know what's in them. Out on the outward, they look like human beings. They look like you and myself. But on the inward side, some of them are people that are sent to just be a blockade in your way. And so you just look at it, and like we talk about the spirit of discernment, you discern these things and you just move on. You say your prayer and just wait for the next thing that you have to do, Mantia. There's nothing you can really do about it.
But
Such
then,
is the world now.
but then the funny part that puzzled me after she gave me all that route, right? So I said, well, let me just call the airline and I'm going to tell them that I want them to change my flight because I have missed my flight. So I called the airline. She said, oh, it would be better you call too. So I called the airline, right? I want to change my flight. I missed my flight. And they started telling me that, okay, there's a flight at 10 o'clock, but
And
you
she
have
didn't
to
even
pay.
tell you that.
Yeah, you have to. No, she couldn't tell me that because the flight she was putting me on, I had to go for free now because they're supposed to reschedule me now. But if I pay for them to change their flight, then I will go earlier. So that's the sadness of the world that we live in. America had allowed business people to steal from its citizens and outside people that are coming into the country. The businesses steal, the insurance companies steal from us, the airline people steal from us. Then the government take our taxes from our money and give us after tax money dollars. After they take out the taxes, then we have to go to the store without seeing money and pay taxes on the things we buy. So how else more you want from us? So when I saw the student, so I asked them, so how much it's gonna cost me to change my ticket for me and my daughter? Oh, one person is like 175, so the two of you
Wow.
would be 300 and change, or almost $400. So I said, okay, so now if you don't have the money, I had the money, I just swept it like that because I could afford it. But I thought about one in that instant, I thought about people who didn't have money, and we, although I had the money, I felt very sad within myself that, duh, they have some people that will not have the money yet and they will have to go back home because they cannot afford, or they will have to go on that flight that will reach them almost or 6 o'clock the next day to their destination, what it was just supposed to take 2 hours to get to. I said, is it fair? I could not work to the airport kiosk. I could not work there because if I worked there, I would have to help everybody on that line. And then the airport people will firing me because I don't know how it is to cheat somebody like that. Broad day cheating. I was like, oh my God. So I said, yeah, I told the person in line, yeah, okay, give me the credit card. Give her the credit card. Flip, flip, flip. Yeah, man, your flight is 10 o'clock. Get so. The confirmation is sending your email. And me and my daughter, when we check in, and the woman said, oh, so your guy said, yeah. And we just started going through the security. It was so sad. It
It
was
is
just so
sad
sad.
because sometimes even when you have the money, that not money you budget to travel for. Sometimes that money
Exactly.
for something else that you are appropriated that money to go towards something else. And here you are now, you got to take that money and spend it to where you didn't even intend to spend it or where you didn't even expect to spend it, So, I mean, everybody is just robbing everybody around the world. Some other countries are better than other. Like you say, America is the greatest country on earth, but they too have their shortcomings. And these are some of the shortcomings that, we see that America have. So
Yeah.
we just deal with it months, yeah.
We just
And
deal with it. And then the reason why we come here today is to give you guys the information. And Angela Liberty said something very important. Let me just read some of the comments. Donna Curtis, thank you for watching. She said, hi to you amazing ladies. I'm watching from Canada. Welcome, Diana, our fifth viewer. And then Karen Taylor said, good morning, ladies. It's 8:30 a.m. in Seoul City. What an interesting topic. Thank you, Karen. Continue watching because we got interesting thing to talk today. And then Angeline said that went through this went through that once, but every time I reserve a flight, listen to the information Angeline coming give. She said, I went through that once, but every time I reserve a flight, I put insurance on it about $30 in case for any reason I missed my flight. So what she's saying is she put a $30 on there when she missed her flight, they would have to book her on the next flight. But I tell
we
you
are
that
paying extra money. We
we
are
are
paying
paying
that other
extra money.
extra.
And that's the reason why when you're traveling, sacrifice I tell you that because it's better to sacrifice I tell you that than for you to go pay almost $400 than me. You sacrifice I tell you that you put insurance on your flight. When you get there, you miss your flight because now majority of the time we were plenty in the airport that missed our flight. So people you could see the tears in their face. They were not really crying, but you could see the
We were
sadness.
pissed off,
Because
yeah.
staying in that airport, you got no money to eat. Everything expensive. This morning when we got to the airport, me and my daughter ate breakfast. It was $59 for the both of us. $59 when we sat down to eat breakfast. So it's expensive. So if you don't even have that money and you delay in that airport for 6 hours, you just be sitting down there hungry and not having anybody to even talk to and stuff is so sad. So $30 to put on your flight is not going to kill you. Even if you miss your flight, it'll be all right. You say, then Karen laughing at Ferrari say, for me. Then Angelique said, it is the don't care attitude that makes me stay on top of things when I'm flying because everyone want to be boss. And I, for one, do not have patience. Everybody at the airport, I meet up people there. That airport kiosk job is a layman 12 job. But when you get there, and I'm not putting anybody down who just graduated 12th grade. I mean, it's a height in your life to graduate 12th grade. It's an accomplishment. But the part where when they're there, then they're just treating people like they're nothing. Then we just think that maybe they should have just gone to further training to work in that position because sometimes they just train a business or do the computer this and that, but they don't train them how to interact with the customer because for people to be buying tickets, these expensive prices, and then you treat them like nothing and they get on the flight, it's not fair to them. And people, that's why most people now they are driving to the destination. 8 hours, 10 hours, people just take their car and they just drive because it's that easy. Just that because gas prices are going up now, then the airports have to get packed. Because recently this year, when I even traveled through the airport, because of gas price, when the gas price hiked up, the place were empty. People were better there. Everybody were driving. So they just need to learn how to take care of their customers. I used to pride myself with America, customer come first. First I used to say, but why? Because the customers on anything be report. At the end of the day, the person is patronizing your business. Although they're getting service, but they're paying for it. And the money they're paying, that's the one that paying you to go do your own survival, for you to survive in your own life. So you have to be careful how you interact with them. So that's why certain businesses and certain airlines I would never buy a ticket from because of the customer service are poor. Certain hotels I cannot sleep in because the people don't know how to treat their customers and the place is not up to date for the kind of money they rented. So and all those things, that's what we look at. But there where we are. So if you want to say anything further than that, so we can move forward because the etiquette information, the etiquette with information I want to discuss today has to do with our manners and our entertainment world. Our manners and our entertainment world. So if you can come in.
Yeah, I just wanted to say thank you to Angeline for that information because I wasn't even aware of it and how it is best, and it saves you from a lot of inconvenience by paying just a fee to have your flight insured. So I just wanted to say thank you to her for the information because that's why we come here to give the information out so that those who don't know or have no idea, at least now they know. I mean, someone like me, at least I have that information that I didn't have before.
Yeah, and thank you, Anthony, me too, because if I knew I was going to pay that $30 to save myself because, man, traveling, it was a lot for me this weekend. I was like, duh, how these people are allowing this kind of thing to happen. The world had changed. Even when I entered Canada, I felt disgusted. I was like, oh my God. The people are very rude in the area I went to. Very, very rude. They don't know how to interact with people. I don't even know how the people who live there survive in that area. They when we went through immigration, the immigration was very nice to us. We are Americans, so they have to be nice to us. They know that. But then when we enter into the city, oh my God, we went car walk car, and it was different on the American side. I will tell you the truth. The Americans, they did that. Although they got their own shortcomings, they did what they were supposed to do as far as showing some kindness through the immigration. When we got on the Canadian side, oh my God, we went through the first thing we were backing our one man was coming, he was backing into us, not even looking, and then we blew our horn, pin. And that man turned around. The reason why we blew our horn, he got so mad. He started backing there. I come and hit your car for blowing your horn. I said, but what kind of people in the area so angry? And then one other one was asking my daughter to get him way to pass. Moo, 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 moo. I said, oh, the Africa there, oh. I was like, oh my God, this is ridiculous. I mean, but I just seen that because of what happened in the world, I guess people are so angry, and you got to give yourself a break because anger kills. Anger kills. I just buried my cousin-in-law. He died because he was mad. He just got mad. His pressure went up and he dropped. It ain't worth it at all. Why are these people so upset in life? Nobody knows. Why are they so upset? Nobody got that kind of power over my life to make me that upset. If you have to make me that upset, then you don't have to be around me. I need my peace. If I have to be upset on a job, I would take a night job to not see anybody, so I can't be upset. Yeah, because it's that easy. Since I gotta be upset every time I see people, I may as well just take a job in the night. Well, nobody work there. I won't just work there and do my work in the night, come back home in the morning and sleep. I mean, it's that sad how the people are so mad in the world, and Liberians are just becoming even worse with the madness. Fred was telling us, so we're about to switch a gear towards the etiquette side. We have come here before, we spoke about etiquette. A lot of times, that's why we're giving the information because it has become very bad among people, especially Black people. Especially something about our race. It has become so bad. The way we carry on, the way we interact with one another, the way when we go to programs, what happened and stuff like that. I want Vera to come in because Vera had gone to a funeral. And Vera called me after the funeral. She said, Grace, it's been a while since I went to a decent funeral. It's been a while. She said, this funeral was the funeral they were getting. When I was mine used to take all the funeral, how the funeral used to be. We're not talking about the funeral. All the people go and view the body, then they get a funeral. Hello? Yeah, we view the body. No, they're not the funeral they're talking about. We're talking about the funeral that was class. And that's the place where I limit myself to where I go these days. I do not need to be around people who don't carry themselves well because those kind of energy it rub off on you. It's not that people seeing that they're better than other people, but when you're getting older, you become a woman for a certain age or a male for a certain age, you don't want to be associated with negativity. I just told you guys that my cousin-in-law just dropped because he was mad with somebody. The person just said, and he just dropped in the chair. His pressure went up and it killed him. I don't want to be in that if I have to. That's why I don't, when people send me invitations, sometimes I don't even honor it because I don't want to go in the crowd where the people just already mad. Someone in that face is so mad that they even not mad, they just already mad. It's one thing you can be a serious person, but it's one thing to be serious, one thing to just be vexed. And that's why I'm like, oh my God. When Vera told me, Vera said, Chris, I went to this funeral. She said, man, they were honored because the way the people carry on the funeral, it was classic. Right? We need to come in with that because I thought about that thing. I said, oh, I haven't gone to a funeral in a long time like that.
Yeah. I've been to a couple of funerals I've been to a couple of funerals anyway. And I see that especially, and I will talk about in our Liberian setting. When we go to a funeral, first of all, even when we're in the church, it's so noisy. The noise, everybody just chit-chatting, chit-chatting. When you go there, if it's in the church, you try to take a seat in the church, they tell you, say, oh no, somebody sitting down here on a bench or on a pew in the church. They will line it up with their purses. They will line it up with all the funeral program. They will go and collect extra funeral programs. They will line up the whole bench. You come to a person's funeral who you know, you can't even find seat to sit on. You walk into sit down on the pew, they tell you, say, oh no, somebody say not here, but you can't see the person. You try to sit on the side, oh no, that's somebody say not here. Yeah, see, you got a lot of people standing outside waiting to take seat, but the church is empty. There's enough seat available, but you can't sit down because they tell you, say somebody sitting down there. But the person that's sitting down there, you can't see them because they got their friends then waiting. They stay at home doing their face beat and putting their makeup and their eyelashes, but they coming to the funeral. So you got other people there holding the seat hostage, and people who know the family coming to or know the person coming to the funeral, they can't even take seat. And that is rude.
Lack
That
of
is
etiquette.
uncivilized. That is bush. But I went to the funeral anyway. Everybody walking at church. Nobody had no paper laying out in any kind of bench to say, somebody say, now here, you can't sit down here. You turn to somebody, you can't sit down. So we walk. There was decorum in the church. When I walk in our church, there was decorum. First of all, when we got there, everything was in line. The people had a table. You had the memorial book that you could sign in. You sign in. You take a program. You walk into the church. They had an usher to the door. You walk into the church. You walk in. You take a seat. Everybody was in our church. There was decorum, perfect decorum. There was silence in our church. The organists were playing. The body, the casket was open. People would walk in. Some people went and sat for a minute and then went up to view the body. Other people walked in, went view the body and took the seat. But for a long time, I haven't seen stuff like that, because when I walk in, and I mean, I kind of felt embarrassed because like, oh, eyes are on me because everybody was seated. And I walked towards the casket and I viewed the casket, and I walked in the direction because you had to walk and walk to the left, walk in a certain direction. Not like people don't do that. When you give them direction, go view the body. When the line go, you either go right or you go left. They will not do it. They will turn right back into the crowd and start walking into the crowd to come take the seat. We Liberians wouldn't follow direction well. But it was a beautiful funeral. It was so beautiful to the point that it didn't feel like a funeral. It felt like a celebration of life, like
Yeah.
we usually say. It felt like a sent away of the person. It was so beautiful. I mean, the sun as the organists were playing, the sun started to shine through the stained glass, the stained glass window. It just brought a different kind of feeling to the church.
Yeah.
Like you felt like your loved one were had actually ascended to a
Yes.
beautiful place. And everybody sat in our church. There was decorum. The program was in order. People went and viewed that body all of it. But what caught me the most, it was so
Peaceful.
peaceful. There was no noise. When they asked the people to stand, they stood up. When the tributes were being read, there was complete silence. When everybody was speaking, it was complete silence. When the pastor was preaching, it was complete silence. I've never gone to a silent funeral before. That's not 2 years ago, Chris. The funeral I went to, it just like the funeral our parents they used to go home back to the day. I mean, there was perfect decorum, and I enjoyed it. Funerals, and I think people are supposed to enjoy, but I enjoyed my time at that
Well,
funeral
it's
because
okay to enjoy
no,
it.
it's okay because especially if you
You,
know your person died in Christ, it's even more
yes.
beautiful.
Mhm.
And so and everything was orderly. After that, everybody fall in line behind that casket, and that's the first time I've ever seen anything like that in a very, very long time.
Long
Maybe
time.
since like period time, I haven't even seen that kind of funeral because every other funeral I had to go to has been chaos. The church noisy, the pastor preach, you gotta tell them, shut up, my boy, you be quiet. The pastor come and preach. I mean, it
It's
was
so,
just
oh God.
different. It was just different. And those people in our church, those like when I came in our church, I don't know where they came
You know
from.
where they came from, eh?
I
But
don't know
boy,
where they
you see
came
like
from.
brains that are,
But at least I was glad to know those category of Liberians still exist among us.
yeah.
I was
And,
glad to
and,
know
and, it, and it did, right before you go further, I mean, the right thing to do at a funeral, my people, hear the information here. You go to a funeral, since we live in a first world country. When you go to a funeral, I've been to American funeral, white people funeral, black people funeral. You go to a funeral, the first thing the people tell you, say, come 3 o'clock, the funeral will start. Most time the reception or the prelude of the funeral will go for that first 10 to 15 minutes. Everybody gets seated. Now, when you're sitting down and Mary won't stay beating her face because she's supposed to come to that funeral there to find her boyfriend, you cannot put your bag in the seat, say, keeping it for Mary. Because when the people have sat, it's wrong for Mary to come in the church 2 hours later and just walk in for everybody. Mary, when she come, I don't care how you love her, that your friend, say, man, the funeral on, we sitting in front when you come, the rest of the seat in the back. You just find somewhere there and sit. Because that's what the white people do. So you can come to the funeral and you just walk into the funeral while the people sitting down because your friend had kept seat in the front for you. It's wrong. You are dishonoring the person that died. They're trying to celebrate that person's life because at that time, with that celebration of life, you're supposed to be there to respect that person celebration of life and their family members. The power I heard that even with the girl who died, put you in Minnesota, the girl who her husband stabbed to death. Pucci, what her name?
Yeah, Pichu. Pichu.
Pichu. Pichu died, and one woman was walking in the funeral while the people said, go view the body. She had her phone in her ear because the people said, no phone. Then she took the phone, hello? Yeah, we're going to view the body. Oh, she walking to the thing. The people said, no phone in the church. Hello, we're going to view the body. She holding the phone, trying to take the picture of the body. And they put to her, put the phone down. It's just so disrespectful to the family. So we just seeing, we're not seeing that that maybe you guys don't know the right thing to do because we feel that everybody know the right thing to do, but people choose to not do the right thing. It's just so wrong. You come to a funeral, you late, let me and Vera go somewhere. If I came there first and Vera is late, I'm not gonna keep seat for her at that point because if the front part of the place is filled, it's my duty to sit down and say, Vera, the place getting full. So I sit down in front when you come, be behind after the stuff we meet.
Where it
That's
meets.
the right thing to do. The power you're putting back in seat and stuff to wait for the other person. It's just so uncivilized. Let's just say that it's just so uncivilized. And then you have to respect yourself because when you do that, you look very rusty. You look that people don't respect you at that point because people who know the right thing to do, they look at you like, but what the person doing? What they're doing? And you take away from yourself, and you also take away from the people who came early to be in peace and watch that thing on time. And they got another thing. I went to this wedding 3 years ago. It was a Serenian wedding. Me and this Serenian girl worked together and she was getting married. I drove from here to Baltimore. She said the wedding was going to start 2 o'clock. Me and my husband got there 1:48. Hurry up. We got there. Drove almost an hour and some change. We got there. We sat in the wedding hall, sitting down. The bride never showed up. No respect for her guests. We sat down in our house, that church. That wedding did not start until from 2. It started 6 p.m. in the evening.
And y'all sat there?
We were sitting there. Lord, certain time King, I just wanted to support her because I promised her that I was really going to go. And she myself worked very closely. I sat down and the test. I was disgusted to even see that girl. When she came up, the whole wedding thing, the people were there, people complain. People, I mean, they were talking about her, they talk about her husband, they complain about them. So people were swearing the marriage before it even happened because the people were that pissed. It was just so shameful and embarrassing. How could you invite somebody to a wedding, your wedding, and you don't have no respect for the guests, and you come, the wedding's supposed to start 2, then you come 6. Man, come on now. So where's the respect? Because we had driven so far to come there, we just decided to wait. After, as soon as she got there, they said a verse. As soon as they turned around, oh, in case the bride, the how we're walking out. I never went to the reception. I was like, this is ridiculous. It's rude and everything. And then the next time, the next week we went to work, she said, oh, Grace, I saw you at the wedding, but I didn't see you at the reception. So I said, but who do you think I am? I said, let me tell you something. I only sat down there because, I wanted to support you at this point. I was just done. I said, yo, I didn't even remember the dress you had on. I said, because we were that tired. And most time what I do personally, that the other information I drop, anytime I go into a wedding, I make sure I dress up, I go out and sit down and eat a full course meal before I get to that wedding. Because I don't, especially when it comes to African people wedding, I make sure I eat a full course meal before I get to the wedding. Because I'm not even trying to depend on the food at the reception. I'm probably not even eat at the reception because too many people will be talking about the food anyway, and people yelling, "Oh, can't they?" I can't. I just can't. You can come in. I just can't, man. I'm sorry. It's just me. I can't.
It's just, we just have to do better, because like we were talking about the power of information, and we say we will talk in light of etiquette and decorum. In a Liberian, and I keep sticking in a Liberian community, Liberian setting, because I see a whole lot of abuses at this point in time. We just call it abuse. I don't know if it's social abuse or what it is, but I will call it abuse anyway, because to me, it goes overboard. When you are invited somewhere, you're supposed to show up on time. And you who inviting the person to the somewhere, you yourself have to be present on time. You
Mhm.
cannot have your guests come and sitting and waiting for you 2 3 hours. That's rude. Like you said, that's rude. That's disrespectful to your guests. Just like you want your guests to show you respect, you yourself should show your guests respect. And most in our community, Liberians don't do it. First of all, when you send an invitation, RSVP invitation that is RSVP, they don't even honor the invitation. Some of them will show up, some of them will not RSVP, and they will show up. And then they come to your program demanding that they need to get in because they know you. Oh,
Mhm.
I know her. I know her. She sent me invitation. Yes, she sent the invitation, but where is your RSVP? Did you RSVP? Well, I didn't RSVP because she know I was going to come anyway. She know I was not going to miss the occasion. That's not the point. You have to follow procedure. You have to follow order. You have to follow the decorum. You have to follow the etiquette, whatever it's called. If you did not send your RSVP back, guess what? I don't care how many years you've known her. You're going to stay out of it. And some of them will come and start fussing to the door. I went to one wedding one time, and one lady came there. I mean, she came all dressed up in her African, no big African hitter and wild or something, yeah. Came fussing to the door. She must enter. The lady said, I'm sorry. You're not going to enter here unless you show me. I don't see you being your name on this list as RSVP for this occasion. You cannot enter. I mean, she was so rude. She started to use profanity on the woman, and that woman was so calm and respectful. That woman didn't even pay her no mind. The woman said, "Can you please step aside? The other guests are
And
coming."
right there, they
Yeah,
step in the wedding. Oh. No
yeah, the
respect.
woman told her, say, can you please step to the side? Other guests need to enter the reception hall, and I need to let them in. When you find your, if whatever you RSVP, let me know. This program is not about how long you've known the person. It's about somebody sending you an invitation, you honoring it or dishonoring it. Liberian posts they don't like to meet deadlines. They don't like to return things. They always will always take things for granted. Then though there are those who come and go in a reception hall and take their handbag. If there is a table that seats 10, they will take their handbag and line if they one person or two persons are sitting at the table, the other 7 seats or the other 8 seats, they're gonna put 8 handbag, or they will find something and occupy the space. And then you got people who the real guests coming in, they can't even sit. One time I went to one occasion, I wanted to say this, oh, you can't sit over there. Somebody saying on the outside will sit there when the person can't wake it up. Why should I? I'm here. Your friend is home. Why am I waiting? Why are you even
Yeah.
holding?
Why
That's
should you be
rude.
standing up while somebody who they're
Yeah,
keeping the seat for them and you standing up?
that's rude, Liberian people. That's
It's rude.
that's very bush. That's uncivilized. You don't do things, and a lot of us do that. We go to occasion, we hold a seat hostile. I mean, we hold a seat hostage, and other
Mhm.
people guess your good guests come, and they can sit down. They're standing up. They just roaming all over the place. Oh, who's saying when you pull a chair? Oh no, somebody saying that here.
I've
You
seen
pull
people
the
left
other.
weddings like that. They just get in the car and leave.
And I've seen other places where people even went, they will remove your reserved table sign. They will remove the signs.
Oh, I'm coming to that.
Then
I
they
went to
start
one
hauling
lady.
chair. They start hauling chair from one table to bring
Mhm.
it to the other table. They start to distort the whole program. The way the person had a whole setup for a certain reason, they start pulling chair from here, squeezing it to the other table because they want the other person to sit with them there. I mean, what has happened to us? Why are we so rude? Why are we so undisciplined? We act like we never learned anything at home, even though some people didn't learn nothing. And that's just a plain old truth. Some people just train themselves. Some people are not willing to learn anything. Some people don't know nothing. It doesn't matter how you try to tell them, they're not receptive to it. And that is not our fault. If you didn't learn it before and you're not willing to learn it for other people, guess what? You're on your own.
But
But
my
we like,
question to you is that even if you didn't learn, you come to the world where everything the people, I mean, it basically here, it shows. How come you can go to the people group home and stuff and work and do everything you're supposed to do, but then when you come to your librarian setting to do what you're supposed to do, then you can't do it. You just refuse to do it. And say, oh
I,
yeah, the librarian
when
way.
I
The
did,
librarian way is not this organization.
it's not this organization,
It's
everything
not.
that all that Liberian time, that black people time, that Liberian way, all that thing that we need to discourage it in the Liberian community. I did a setup for 10th wedding anniversary, and everybody was on time, everybody was seated, the wedding went on and stuff like that. Here come the people, some people stepping in. Oh, for all the seats taken, where we supposed to sit on. So the MC, the person who was MC in the program, told us, say, that's what happened when you part of the latecomer association. So since you came in and the hall is full, guess what? Stay in the back. Don't come and disrupt the program.
Exactly. This is not about you. But let me read some of the comments that were written here. Angeline Liberty, she said, no problem. You are welcome. When you go online for reservation and purchase a ticket, it offers insurance at the very bottom. You click in an agreement and then it will total your payment. So anytime you buy a ticket, just go down on the after you
So the
scroll down,
participants,
you will see the insurance. They will give you the option. You choose it, and then it will be part of your payment. Then it makes it easier for you to travel just in case you miss your flight. And then Diana Kennedy said that when Trump took over, when Trump took power through lies, division, and hate, the forces of hate, lies, and division entered into so many bodies that they didn't have Christ in them. These forces are all on jobs that deal with people. So these people will get angry because it's only through anger these forces can manifest. That is why before you travel, pray and ask God to take control. We are living in a world where you have to pray like you never prayed before. I always say that hate, lies, and division will never win. And then it continues, but it doesn't show you, I can't see all when it continues because this is a stream, yeah. And then Angeline said, at my 21st year old funeral service, I sadly had to say, shut the hell up. You hear that? She
yeah.
said at her 21 years old child funeral service, she sadly had to say, because this woman too, she lost a child. Then people just making noise in the hall. She said she sadly had to say they should shut the hell up. Place was packed in the lobby of the church, had about 100 people laughing, talking like they were
Yeah.
at some party. Hey, my sister,
Somebody don't
was
even carry
disrespect.
politics. Yeah.
It was unbelievable, and I looked at my people differently. The woman had lost her look. That one thing, ma, would give it. Actually, I be so sorry, my dear. Sorry for your loss. I know you be going through a lot a few times. We know we support you. We sorry about everything you be going through. But look at what happened to her. My sister lost her son at the age of 21 as well in Canada. My sister era she lived among white people. I have never the funeral was so beautiful. The people, Jai was saying the people were quiet. Everybody was sympathetic. The people sat there. We had a funeral. I spoke perfect decorum. The people were quiet. My sister came, she talked. I later on sing for my nephew funeral, and we had a perfect time. When we got out of that place, everybody went to do the reception very quietly. I mean, the way people carry themselves, it's just obvious. So look, I went to one wedding. The Jamaican woman I was sitting next to me, the woman said, I don't know. She said, "I'm Jamaican, you from Africa?" I said, "Yeah." She said something about black people, my child. The Jamaican woman told me, she said something about black people. She said the Caribbean, so the one from the islands. So she said something about them. She said, but Jella, you're African, it worse on you. She said, now we beat or wedding at least 40 minutes. You're to carry it double. Because the last wedding we at, it was 1 hour 45 minutes before the bride and her party show up. The woman said, what is this? And then one of the people for the wedding had the audacity to come out and say, "Oh, how you doing? You're sorry. Oh, we are running a few minutes late." The Jamaican almost said a few minutes. Everybody, she said a few minutes. At this point, you should be ashamed of yourself to say that. This is not a few minutes. We're going into 2 hours. They almost said, "Don't disrespect us like that." Something about black people. She turned around to me. She said, "I don't know." She was walking out of the way, and I told her, I said, "Oh no, just then they say we should get a couple of minutes." She said, "This is ridiculous. What's wrong with us? What is wrong with us? Why a woman would be at her child for a mother to lose a child?" Because I see my sister and my nephew were like, "I lost my child," because he was like my child. So we were grieving. If I had people in our home even making funny something like that, I was going to go off. Angela said, "They were to say shut her up." I was going to march and tell them to get the hell out. Yeah, I'm telling you. They're having conversations. Some of them are dressed up in wedding gowns. They're not wearing the best clothes. They're going to show off and stuff like that. It's so sad to do that because at that time, people are grieving their family loss. You know, you go there to sympathize and how they call it, go there to sympathize and celebrate the life of that person. Everybody's supposed to, nobody say you should be sad and crying, but at least show respect to the family because it's a funeral. It's not a party to go and have fun and go and start lecturing with your friends. We need to just try to get on the right page because we can do that. Liberia is a civilized nation. We are. We're one of the countries in the world, in the West Africa area, that pride ourselves to civilization. We
But
do
we
everything
pride our
differently.
grace
We
though.
sound differently. Yeah, but then how come? Because one Ghana woman was telling me, she said, "Oh, back in the day, what people used to go, they say, ah, we're going to Liberia, that civilized people country there." How come now? Where did people came from? Ah,
Our grace, so we pride ourselves in civilization. But do we practice civilization? Because I've even seen, like Angeline was saying, I've even seen where people go to the funeral in the lobby and they discussing politics, Liberian politics.
wow.
Liberian politics, they will discuss it to funeral, they will discuss it to wedding, they will discuss it to the repast, they will discuss it to if it's a wedding reception, everywhere they go. Liberian politics, the men in the hallway, I mean, they get talking, the noise. I mean, even to the point when you go to, I went to a repast, the people were trying to pray so people could go eat. The noise, people have to say, "Y'all please be quiet, we come and pray for so people can eat.
Wow.
Y'all please be quiet, oh. Y'all please be quiet. Y'all please keep quiet." The people just talking to the pastor had to pray through the noise. He even say a long prayer, "God bless the food," and the hands are prepared.
Amen.
Amen. That how they meant, and they were still talking. No kind of decorum, no
No
kind
respect.
of respect, no kind of etiquette, no kind of civilization, nothing. But look at, for example, let's just leave the funeral business and wedding business alone. Look what happened to the Miss Liberia in the Miss Liberia 2022
Oh,
that just passed. The noise, the disturbance that were in that place there. Is that how it's supposed to be? I don't know what
no.
has happened to us.
I went to beauty passions all my life. I used to be in the beauty passion from Mr. Bro to Mr. Bro beauty passion. I have never seen a Miss Librarian beauty passion so cheap and low class than the last beauty passion that passed. Ah, I have never. I said I was disgusted. I was trying to watch the thing into the morning. I was like, Grace, go and get your beauty sleep, girl. Why are you even wasting? I said the noise, the noise. Look, let me tell you something. Beauty passion. About who are these people giving the privilege to have a beauty pageant in Liberia? Who are these people responsible to give the organizations then that they're giving the contract to do that program? Because you have to know the kind of people you deal with for the program. In fact, before people even enter that hall, you're supposed to make sure all of them have invitation and they're supposed to even pay the money to be in a certain space or that place. That's how it used to be. The place never used to be noisy at all. When the queens then come in, everybody quiet to see what they gotta say and how they're modeling people watching because you gotta give the judges then they at least be courteous to the judges so they can be able to watch everything that's going on for the beauty pageant to be judged very fairly. You see? And that's why I just don't understand who are these people giving the contracts to and how they're doing this thing. It's so sad that they're just making our country to look really, really cheap with that kind of thing. They're making the country to look so cheap. That Mr. Peter Patrick just telling me, I was like, oh my goodness. Where did these people come from? When I'm sitting there, my friend and said, they're great. I never used to, I never met these people then in Liberia when I was there. I'm in shock with the behavior of the people I don't know. I was like, oh my God, what is this? What is this? Fira, that's why I just told my family members. Although I pray to live long in this world, because I want to see my children have children. I want to see them get married, have children, settle in, be successful, because I know all of them will be successful in Jesus' name. Amen.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I told my husband, my dear, God forbid if I die before you, I list my people down. They're not even more than 15. That they might call ya. I don't want I don't want no anybody because you don't treat your family like that. It's just so disrespectful to them. Because the people who even know me and the one who hate me the most that they don't want to be coming to the front. Oh yeah, I knew her, she was my dad, she was my dad. Whereas I never even knew them, we never even had any contact like that. So I don't want all that crowd and that. I'm in a space now. I don't need none of those things. Even when I go to parties, I can start worrying, okay, I wonder how it would be like. Because I don't want to be in too much of noise and chaos and yelling and all the things. I don't have the time for that. I think that older people and grown up people, in fact, anybody as a whole, besides kids, should be able to control themselves when they get in a certain space. I do not need that, so I don't want to be bothered. That's why I choose my places I go because I don't need all that noise and frustration. Because you go there, you're like, what did I come to even do here? The noise, the disrespect to the party that having the entertainment or whatsoever they having, the disrespect is too much. The people just don't know how to carry themselves. Liberia has become a politics nation. When they go anywhere, they discuss politics and they screaming about it. And it's so sad. They cannot allow the people to just enjoy entertainment when it's time to be entertained. And the tribalistic thing, the beauty passion was all tribalistic. Miss Liberia is not about tribe. I don't understand. They're supposed to do Miss Liberia content pageant, and then they do Miss Liberia itself. Because when it comes to Miss Liberia, we don't care what content you're from. 3 people can even come from Raymond Monrovia. But they made a team for content and they start to fight without seeing all content that tribalistic behavior. And it just destroyed the whole Miss Liberia beauty pageant. Where are these people coming from? You need to answer me.
I don't know. They are Liberians, man. Yeah, they are Liberians, but they are just Liberians who are not disciplined. They are just Liberians who don't know how to carry themselves. There's some of them are not willing, or not even some of them, but a whole lot of them are not willing to learn. They are not willing to fall in line with the way things are supposed to operate, or the way things are supposed to be carried out. A lot of them don't have no decorum. A lot of them don't know respect. A lot of them don't even give a freak to respect anybody. They are very disrespectful set of people. They don't care. They force their way through things. They bully their way through things. They bulldoze other people. They are Liberians, man. They are Liberians just like you and myself. Wow. But you and myself, rather. But then when you tend to have something and you exclude them, the next thing they're gonna say, oh, you very segregative. And some of you're too proud. When you have things, you only want a certain kind of people there because you feel you're better off than other people. No, it's not that. But when you have an occasion, you want to invite people who are gonna respect your occasion. I just want anybody there who just gonna come and be all rah in your occasion. My cousin was getting married in Minnesota. I remember years ago. He had to hire police officers to enter the door. He hired police officers to stop some unwanted people who were determined that they were coming there to stop them. And that's how, and they thought, oh, they had a whole lot to say about him. How dare he hire a police officer, who he think he is, and what, they had a boatload of things to say. It didn't even bother him because that was his occasion. It was his prerogative to do whatever he wanted to do. But it has come to the point where Liberians are going to do these things, where you got to leave some people out of the things that you're doing because they're just not respectful to a set of people. They don't want to learn anything. They don't want to fall in line. You go to a wedding, you're having a reception. When you say you don't bring no kids are allowed. When you know they bring their 2-3 children, they say, well, I didn't have babysitter. So they take out 3 children, take all extra 3 seats for your guests. Your guests can sit down because they have brought 3 children, because they say they ain't got babysitter at home. When you
But they
have
don't
a grand,
come.
yeah,
Don't come.
when you're having a grand march, the grand march that's supposed to be for grown up, the wedding party and grown up. You got cheering all. I mean, one day I was so fair. I checked one little child from on the floor. I didn't even know who child was that. It didn't piss me off so much, because when I go to occasion, most of the time I don't even interact like that. I just sit there and watch the action, and and just enjoy myself and see what's going on. But I mean, the people were doing the grand march, the little children, oh, no need the people, or just that the bride and the groom must step on the children. What you telling you go and get your children from off the floor. All the children, they enjoying the wedding too. Y'all lead the children will be cheering. Why y'all can't lead the children in there? Are they supposed to be in a grand march? I can't have that kind of thing going on in my life.
I know.
I cannot even have that
I
kind of thing
know.
going on in my occasion, because when somebody tells you this is an adult occasion, it's only adult only, don't bring children, respect them. When you take
I
children
know.
and bring them to it tells the person that you have no regards for them, neither do you regard the occasion. That is wrong. That is rude.
Totally
We
wrong.
as people, or Liberian people, we are known for that. We are terrible at that. We need to stop it. It has to stop. That's uncivilized behavior. That's bush behavior. That was some of the reason why old people used to say you can take the people from in the bush, but you can't take the bush from in them. It hard to take bush from in people, because the bush is crowded. Too many things in the bush. To unravel a bush is not an easy thing.
And the Papa, if the thing is that we are not saying that after some people when they had their occasions, they consider their friends that have kids. So what they do a separate area
I've seen
where they
that.
will have people to take care of the training. Just the designated that 3-4 people, they get the training inter team, make sure the trainer got the food and everything. But if somebody invite me to a program, and I when my children were younger, I never used to go to activity, man. I never used to go to people functions because I had my kids. I didn't even want, because they need, most of them never used to say no kids. But just that I didn't want my kids to be in that kind of position, to be among the adults, they in that noise and people, talking grown up stuff. So I never used to go anywhere. I just took all that time to take care of them. But when the person never told you that, okay, we have designated area for the children, and they tell you specifically, do not bring kids. If you know you have to bring your kid, then you tell the person, I will not be able to come because I got my child and nobody to take care of them. Then you stay and get a person opportunity to invite another friend who wants to come and don't have children that to bring. Maybe they have somebody to take care of their kids. But it's just the right thing to do, to respect the people environment. It's just the right thing to do. When somebody having their stuff, they want their stuff to go on well. They did not invite you. They did not invite your children. They invited you. If you have to bring your kids, at least you inform them, because on the invitation will say, "Oh, bring your child," or something, or don't bring your. And it's just the right thing to do. And then it also, you take away from your child at that point, because maybe that child don't even want to be in that space. Maybe they just don't want to be there. Excuse me. Yeah, Vessel.
And sometimes it's just hard to contain children. Children don't sit still. They want to run around and they want to be doing things. And it's just embarrassing when they start running through the tables, they hitting things here and there, things falling off the table. I've seen all kinds of things because I do a lot of setup for people. And when I do the setup, I stay on the scene. They got their kids running into things, they breaking the decorations and stuff like that. And some people got some expensive things that they go and set up with, and that the whoever having the occasion pay for, it end up breaking, and the parents don't want to pay for it. So in the end, you end up charging the person who did the setup, end up charging the person who are having the occasion, and that's money that person did not even budget, to pay for extra costs. I mean, we just have to be considerate in the end. And I just want I keep stressing Liberian people because I do a lot of setup for Liberian people and I see a lot of stuff going on. And it's just not right. There is no kind of respect among us. There is no kind of decorum. There's no etiquette for nothing. There's not even respect for the person who invited you to the program. And it's absolutely wrong. If somebody invites you to a program, show up. If you cannot show up, don't show up. And when you show up, don't go and hog all the seats that are there and wait for your friends that are still at home doing their face beat and stuff. Don't do that. Some people have, when people have funeral and you don't want to go to the church to attend the funeral service and you want to go to the hall, when you go to the hall, don't occupy all the seats, because those who took the time to go to the funeral service to support that person and to go to the cemetery afterwards, when the guests come, they need to be seated. Not those who just get dressed and go straight to the hall. There was a time when somebody had that, and that's the reason why you see Grace now. When people having wedding receptions and people having funeral repasts, they don't lock the hall until the family leave the cemetery. When the family leave the cemetery and come to the hall before they open the hall. And sometimes some people doing, if it, in terms of weddings, they will keep the reception hall locked until the
Mm-hmm.
wedding ceremony is over and the wedding party is ready to come to the hall. Then they open the hall and let people in, because there have been times where when they leave the repast hall open, or they leave the reception hall open, by the time the actual guests who took their time to go to the church to support the people, be a wedding or funeral. By the time they come to the hall is completely full with a bunch of strangers that didn't even take the time to go to the church to support the people. The whole hall is full. And then therefore, those who took their time to go to the church to support the people, they come and there is no seats. There are no seats. There are absolutely no seats. Bunch of strangers in the hall. You don't know
But
where.
they bypass the wedding and they just
They
went to the
bypassed the
reception.
wedding, they bypassed the funeral, they went straight to the hall. They dressed up drunk. I mean, deck up to the T. And they just occupy, and the whole hall is just full. And your
Eh,
beer guests they come and they can't even have seats.
the problem is not even fair to the person who invited you.
Yeah,
Therefore, the other people who came, which is wrong for them because they came there. They should be having first, a preference when they get to the hall because they attended the ceremony. They were there on time. You take away from them, and then you take away from the person who invited you too. That you have no respect for the person. It's a sign of disrespect. And then most time people too, you invite them to programs, you invite them, they will say, "Oh, I'm coming," and then they don't show up.
they
They
don't
will
show.
not even call you to say, "You know what, I was coming, I couldn't show up because this, that it didn't happen, or I will not be able to show up day after tomorrow because I got an emergency." It's just the kind of say the way to do things. It's just the right thing to do. Liberia always been a gateway to all these things that other country admire about Liberia and the Liberians, the way they carry themselves. What are these? What the behavior that we were taught? What did we put in? That people are now no longer looking up to us anymore because the way we have made the way we do things so cheap and very mediocre and very disrespectful to one another, not respecting people, or privacy in funerals and stuff, and try to go according to what going on. Like that funeral went to, she praised it, how everything was nice, the man was celebrated, and you could feel the celebration in the hall, the way the people carry themselves and stuff like that. Where are those things going? People come, they in a reception at the wedding, they just yelling, talking, "Hello, where are you now?" Right in the reception hall. Eh, eh. Then when we thought, they say, "Oh, you won't feel like you say that." No, yes, we are civilized. We don't feel better than nobody, but we are civilized, and it's just the right thing to do. Civilization don't have to do with education. When you are civilized, doesn't mean you have to be a high school graduate. Civilization is learned from in the home. It's a learned behavior, and you can learn it from right within your home. It starts from the home, and that's what we are saying.
The power
We
of
are
information.
presenting ourselves in the world. We are presenting us as Liberians. We are presenting ourselves poorly, and taking away from our country as well. We already got a country running very poorly, and then we start to do a poor presentation ourselves. It's very, very odd. And we trying to give the people the information on social media to try to carry themselves the right way. Just think about it. You go somewhere, just present yourself because after all saying, don't you disturb that program, but you also present yourself bad. People look at you like, what? They look at you very funny, no respect, and they will not have respect for you either. So if Ray can come in, we'll be closing soon. It's 8 minutes after one. After
An hour and 8 minutes.
Yeah, 8 minutes after 8 minutes
An
after
hour and 8 minutes.
it's an hour and 8 minutes into our program. We stay up for an hour, and Angeline said that the 21 years old boy, I think the 21 years old person was her cousin. Yeah, she said that was her cousin. And she said they are quickly offended, like no joke. They
Exactly.
quickly offended. As soon as you tell them, oh, you can't do that. Oh, they vest.
Yes,
When had you one of them monkey to the wedding hall, I said, what I was sitting down, I said, right in the wedding hall, man. Why I was sitting down? But when they get all they reserve the thing on the city, I said, most are taking the thing off. Call husband, call us in here. Oh,
Yeah.
I said, when you see her face, you can just see the frustration inside. My daughter said, Mommy, what happened to why she doing that? I said, she said, I don't want to come to this kind of place. Why she doing that? I said,
Yeah, but Grace, tell me if that is even right. How do you come in a hall that somebody set up, you see a reserve sign, and you remove it?
I said she removed it. When you see her face, you can tell the first thing. And then why would I come? Why would I say that? No, and then she talking holding the thing. I said, look, when we got from my daughter, when they tell me, say, I don't know if I would like to go with you to these things. And what she told me, I said, hey man, I said, I bet, but I said, I said, when they get, she's like, oh my God, what she doing? I said, I'm what yelling, man. We like at least 50, 60, 90. She started holding the thing. I said, whoa, sister. Yeah. But Angeline said, thanks for all the information. We could all learn a thing or two. Appreciate you, ladies. And we appreciate you because we learn from you today. That's why we
Yeah.
keep coming here because we can learn from you and you learn from us. We learn from each other. That's the best thing. We just trying to help each other all year. So when we get all yeah, we carry ourselves nicely and presentable. And we present because when you present yourself well, the people want to know where you from. Oh my God, look how she carried herself. Look how he carried himself. Decent man. I was admiring one man at the airport today. I was like, oh my God. The man we sat on the table, we went get our because the breakfast at self-service, you serve yourself. And he went, he went, sat on, he took her bag and he put it in there. She got us. He said, oh, honey, send that man work. I hate work breakfast, serve her. Brought a tea, serve her. And then she was eating, he got her food and he sat down, he ate with her. When she got you, he took her plate, carried it to the garbage. And I was like, oh, Lord, I admire it so much.
No,
I admire that.
but you know what happened?
That's a decent man.
Yeah. But you know what happened if a Liberian man does that? You know the other Liberian women will say, look at that other one there,
Yeah.
he mumu the
Oh,
woman.
what they can
The
say,
woman.
my
They
husband can
they
say,
say the man
what they
mumu,
call
he
him?
not made medicine
Not
on him.
me, medicine. One time they say, oh, Bashmumba, he's a ketter to his wife. Oh, yes, he does. I admire it because I saw it because it happens to me. So when I saw the man doing that, I was just admiring it from a distance. I was like, ooh, that's nice. Because that's what I get, that the treatment I get. So I'm like, I was admiring seeing another woman getting it because I like for people to be happy. I was like, oh my God, that is so nice in my heart. I was just looking at it. I was like, wow, this is so nice. You know,
And
it's beautiful in that
so,
way.
it's so rare. You don't see a lot of men practice that anymore.
Yeah. She's my queen. That's how it looked like. He didn't have to speak it, but he just did it. That action. And so we thank you for watching. Frank can come and say something quick so we can get out of here. We'll come back here next week. We are here every Sunday at 7 p.m. Sometimes we're running late because we don't usually be late because we talk about etiquette in that way. We always make sure we are on time. The reason why I came out late this today is that because I just came from traveling this morning. I just entered America. So I was a little bit late, delay a little bit, but we came on at least 10 or 15 minutes after, right? And I did say it because all those things that people expect you to show up at a certain time and then you late, you just always late. That's being rude to your crowd or being rude to the people that you interact with. So all those little things, you telling people you will show up and you don't show up. But we come here every 7 p.m. on Sunday. We always share information. We learn from our viewers as well. Angeli is one of our Liberty is one of our guests that come on. And Diana Curry, she's always been following us forever since we started this. So we appreciate that. And we will be having a fundraiser full sale. So we'll be in the park. We'll be in the park in Baltimore,
No, in Frederick.
in
Frederick.
Frederick, Maryland. We'll be in the park in Frederick, Maryland on Saturday, September 24th. We'll be selling all kinds of Liberian food. If you're in Frederick, get ready. I don't think you should go to your holiday. Come and support us because every time you buy a food or a plate of food from us, that money goes to help our work in Liberia. So we'll be doing a food sale. A lot of people coming out. We'll have games. We'll have kanya. We'll have coconut candy. We'll have a milk candy. We'll have all kinds of things. We'll have food for your children. Hot dog will be there. A hamburger. We'll have some small little Liberian dish here and there. We'll have ginger beer. I mean, we'll have all kinds of things. So come out and support us, and we'll be selling it at a regular price. You come out, you eat, you get to meet us, and we laugh and we talk, but we support Liberia in that fashion. So if you know anybody living in that Baltimore Frederick area, make sure you send an invitation to them. We'll start running the ad on our Facebook page. This is Split All in Our Generation. My name is Grace Guafero. Coming with her last statement, and then we'll get other year.
And I just want to say to us Liberians, because we all are Liberians, regardless of what category we fall in, or regardless of how we separate ourselves in categories. You know, we all come to the country and we need to learn. When you come to when you travel to an advanced country, it's for you to advance yourself. It's not for you to remain the same. We didn't know everything we know, but we've learned from other people a lot. And so we come here. Sometimes we sound harsh on you guys. Sometimes our tone, the way we say things, it sound like we're stuck
Not
up.
in that brain way, man. Just say
Yeah,
it because you
because
love to
I
sugarcoat
said it
things.
because people
Yeah.
have come in our inbox and say, "Who the hell you think you guys are? The way you come on air and you blast at people as if to say you're better." No, we are not better. We are all Liberians. We are not better. But what we are saying is, if you travel to an advanced country, if you're in an advanced world, then it's mandatory that you advance yourself. And
Yep.
the way that we behave to each other is not right. It is disrespectful, it is rude, and it doesn't follow decorum. And all we are saying is, if you're invited to a program, if you're invited to any kind of entertainment, when you go there, comport yourself accordingly. Do not go to people's program and be the one to start holding off all the seats for your friends that are still at home getting dressed to come. It is not right. It is rude to the person who invited you. If you go to a funeral, that's not a place to discuss politics, especially Liberian politics. Not American politics, not Liberian politics. You're there for a purpose. You're there to sympathize. You're there to empathize. You're there to go and show support. Do just that. And then afterwards, when you go home, then you talk your politics, or when you call your friend, find another setting to go and do your politics. That is not a place to talk politics. Politics is not for reception. Politics is not for repast. Politics is not for the wedding. It's not for a funeral. It's not for any kind of entertainment place. If it's a political forum that you guys are having that you are invited to, then that's the right place to do it. But we are saying to us all, we must learn. We must force ourselves to learn to do things the right way, because like Grace said, back when old, I would just say the old Liberia, because this time in Liberia we have now, it's a new Liberia. Everything about Liberia is new now. Even the Liberian English is completely different from the Liberian English we spoke before the war. So in the old Liberia, in the before the war Liberia, people used to respect Liberians a lot.
Yep.
Liberians used to walk with their head up high. Despite all our challenges we had, people were still fighting to come to Liberia. Even during the war, the soldiers that came from other countries to come and intervene to be peacekeepers, some of them never went back to the country. Have you seen where people come to a country to come be peacekeeper in a war situation and refuse to go back to their country that don't have war? Why you think a lot of the Nigerians, the Ghanaians, why they stay in Liberia after the war? Why did the soldiers stay in Liberia? Because regardless of Liberia challenges and all the ills that we have in Liberia, Liberia is a special place. Liberia is a unique place. Liberians are naturally kind people. It's just that the walking and it has done so much damage to us emotionally and
It
mentally.
really damage you.
And some of us, we never sought help, we never sought counseling, and so with that emotional and mental trauma, we are still carrying it and we are acting it up. But it is time. Some of us have grown old into it. It is time that we pay attention. If we need to seek counseling, then we need to seek it. If we need to get help from each other, then we get help from each other. But it's time we must all learn from each other. We're not here to put anybody down. We're not saying we are better than anybody. We're just saying we have learned, and it's on us all to learn. Don't do the things that you do. Respect other people as they will respect you. Respect people occasion. That also is the power of information, because when a person send an invitation and say make your reservation by August 15th, that's information. The power of information you need. If the deadline is August 15th, make sure your reservation is sent back by the deadline if you intend to go. That's all we are saying. Respect other people. Let us respect each other as Liberians. Let us not take each other for granted, because that is what we do. Respect the occasion. Let us learn and move forward, because once we learn and move forward, we will be able to move Liberia forward. But if we don't learn anything in the advanced world, where are we going?
Yeah. Thank you, Vera. And if we don't learn to teach our children in the next 20 years, how will Liberians, you know, how will Liberians sell themselves into the world? I mean, themselves, it means that how will you present yourself to the world? Because If you not learning, it means that your children are not learning. They will start doing worse than what you even did. And I just want to say in my closing that when you invite people to your occasion, try to show up on time to your occasion. Respect your guests because people take up their time to support you. Other people got things to do. People work hard in this country. They have other things to do with their own lives, and they sacrifice that time to come and support you. When they come and show up, you show up. You make sure you show up on time to respect your guests in your wedding, at funerals, at your parties and stuff. Show up on time. Do not have the guests, they're just sitting there waiting for you. The program then becomes sour to the people. They don't even want to be bothered to see you anymore because their excitement are already left them. So show up and respect your guests that came to support you. And that's what we are saying. It's just good that we learn to do these things. So, we present ourselves very well to the outside world because now people are, although every country got their own thing going, but the way people used to look up to Liberians in the West Coast, especially all the West African countries, we have become the least nowadays because they look at us now like, oh, don't mind the Liberians, don't mind those Liberians, and we don't want it to be like that because it affects us. Because when one of y'all do these things, it follow all of us. We have to actually prove ourselves when the people get to meet us, and it makes it hard for us. So we say thank you for watching. Split Talk, the ninth generation. Will be here next Sunday with a whole new topic. We'll stick on the power of information to continue to share information with you people. We know some people will already take it because we have a testimony where a man told us that he learned from this platform how to treat his wife. So we're very happy to hear that. Have a nice week. God bless you. And be safe out there. When you go into that airport, go on time, my people. Don't go miss your flight. It's not easy when you miss your flight there. Thank you. Bye-bye, guys.